And this summer, we had a lot of great things happening in INU studies. We had our summer camp, which some of you have attended the presentations back in June. Our students had gone to Point Hope. And then in July, we had a couple of awesome traditional plants classes. The first one that we had students. Sorry about that. We had students ranging from elementary, middle school, and high school to learn about traditional plants. And in that summer camp, we called it Our Store is Outdoors. And a lot of fun things happened. It was really fun to go out in the field with the students for 3 days. They got to pick their own greens and make their own dishes with them, which included a kungaluk jelly, which you will see in pictures what kungaluk looks like. And it's a plant that you find here on the tundra. And they made dandelion pancakes, their own tundra green smoothies. They got to try cooked koala, all with the different greens that they had picked. So I have a video that I would like to show of the Our Stores Outdoors summer camp, just to give you an idea. It's a couple minutes long. So we'll start off by showing that video from the younger students' summer camp.
Hey.
So that was just a little bit of our stores outdoors. And like you have seen in the video, we had a couple of or a few other people who helped out with the summer camp. And I'm so proud to have a new team member in Univac Studies. And her name is Natasha Ikharin. And Natasha, I know I don't want to put you on the spot, but would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Let's see. I am Natasha and I am from Utkarvik. I was previously I was the preschool and Upath language immersion teacher for 4 school years. So I'm now here at the Upath department. I'm really excited to join Jerica here at the Alicia College. It's been pretty exciting. Got things coming up in my new job. I'll be doing community education. I was told the previous title was community outreach coordinator or something, but now my job title is community education facilitator. And so what I'll be doing is going out into the community and the villages, doing village travel, doing a bunch of workshops and cooperative extension things. So my first week here was really exciting. I got to join Jerica to do the traditional plants and its use camps with both adults and students. So it's been really exciting. I know there's a lot of new stuff coming up. So I'm really excited to be here.
We are so happy to have a new team member in Univac Studies, and I just appreciated her help. And she started off her week with a bang, right out in the field. We also had Jacqueline Edwardson, who was assisting with the camp. She's not on the call right now, but she was assisting with the students, and I really appreciated her help as well. And since Natasha was attending the camp, it was really great that her mom decided to come along, her mom Marie Ita, and she was just sharing a wealth of knowledge, and you saw her in the video teaching the students what she knows. So we really appreciated having her presence there as well. So moving forward, we also had a traditional plants in Utkarvik class, and this was for college credit. And with this class, our students, it was mostly online, and then we got to spend a day with each other out in the field where they got to pick their own plants, and then they process their own plants, their own pickings. So it's really amazing to learn how to pick your own plants and also learn what to do with what you picked. So it's a whole different story where you pick something, but okay, what do you do with it? So our students got to learn both sides. And we went, and I forgot to mention, so I'm really very thankful for UIC Science. We got to rent one of their Argos, and we had one of their guides from UIC Science, so they got to take us out. And with this adult class, we were waiting for the river at Nunavut to open up. So with the younger students, we were unable to cross, but with the adult students, we were able to cross. And so we're very thankful to get past that river. So they got to pick down the coast and be out all day, and you'll see in their presentations. So before we begin, I have a short video of this class. It's about a minute long. So I'll just go ahead and share this video, and then we'll have our students introduce themselves. So let me share my screen. Okay, short video. All right, now we will begin with our student introductions. We have Alicia. Would you like to introduce yourself? We'll just do introductions now and then presentations afterwards.
My name is Alicia, and I'm in my third year at Elisavik, going towards my business BA. Pretty excited about that. I work over at TNHA in Utrecht, and I really enjoyed the opportunity to get out on the tundra and find plants that I didn't realize were there.
Quick book, Alicia. Rachel.
Hi, good morning. My name is Rachel Holt. I'm originally from Umanak. I now live in Wasilla. I currently work for the Alaska Dental Therapy Program, which is run in conjunction with Elisavik College. I've been a student of Elisavik since 2019, working on my degree in information technology. I really enjoyed being able to travel up to Gavik last week. Thank you.
Quick book, Rachel. And is there Ruby?
She didn't want to join.
Okay, all right. We also have Lily. Do we have Lily on the line? Okay, I don't think Lily is on at the moment. So we'll go ahead and get started with presentations. I do have your PowerPoints pulled up. We'll start with Alicia. I'll go ahead and share my screen. Okay, whenever you're ready, Alicia.
So we went out to Nunavak. I spelled that wrong. Sorry about that. And picked plants. I'm very excited to have had that opportunity. When I lived in Wasilla, I did a lot of fun stuff with plants. And so it was definitely good to get out there and try it out. Next slide. One of the plants that we searched for was kunaluk, and also called mountain sorrel. It's tart flavored and high in vitamin C and A, I think. And it tastes like grape skins. And they told me that when we went out there, but until you taste it, you don't realize just how much it tastes like grape skins. Next slide. From this, I made jelly, and this is the process that I used. I didn't put the recipe on here because I ended up having to use liquid pectin as they were out of the powdered, and that altered the recipe a little bit. But it's, as you can see, it's very beautiful. Next slide. We weren't assigned to do dandelion jelly, but because dandelions are one of my favorite plants, I decided to go ahead and give it a try. I threw some jalapeno peppers in there, and just for a little bit of difference, but I didn't want to alter the flavors too much because it tastes like honey, and I wanted to be able to experience that flavor. If you are in the city and you pluck and kill your dandelions, stop it. They're horribly nutritious and good for so many different ailments. Save the dandelions. Next slide. We also picked a chok or beach greens. These plants were not in good season for picking. The flowers had already budded when we were out there, so we only picked a few. They taste like the ocean, like almost like eating seafood, except as a plant. Next slide. Next slide. Oh, sorry. I made salmon chowder out of this. I did not have beluga available to me, but I do have a stock salmon chowder recipe that I love to make, and it was fun to add these beach greens to it. It did change the flavor. They have a definite flavor to them, and they made a good difference in the salmon chowder. I very much enjoyed them. Next. Not everybody liked it. Next. So we were assigned to do a smoothie. I'm not a big fan of smoothies, and I'm more interested in the healing properties of plants. And so I went ahead and started the salve recipe for this plant is also called coltsfoot, and it is known primarily for its relief for arthritic type pain, joint pain. And so I was excited to be able to make this salve. I'm waiting for my beeswax to come in so I can finish it up, but excited to make it because pain remedies are always a good thing to have in your back pocket. Next slide. So the process of this is simply mixing your oil of choice with the plants themselves. I like to use coconut oil and olive oil in equal parts, just because number one, I always have it on hand, and number two, it balances out the absorption rate as the body pulls in coconut oil almost immediately when it's on your skin. So it's a really good oil to add to your salves. This I will let set, and then when my beeswax comes in, I'll melt that up and add that to the strained oil from this infusion. And I'll have a salve ready for my own use and for gift giving as well. Next slide. We also made kunulok tea. Here we dried the flowers, and once they were dried, we just added them to our tea and enjoyed a little bit of quiet time together. It was light and refreshing. Next slide. So like I said before, it was a great opportunity to get out on the Nuna and discover these plants, and also read and learn about the health benefits that are in the plants that are available to us here in Utqiagvik. It was an awesome experience. I'm so glad I was able to do this. Last slide.
Alicia, great presentation. Now we'll move to Rachel. Let me share my screen. Excuse me while I navigate my different screens. All right, Rachel, whenever you're ready. Rachel and Ruby.
Yeah, sorry, Ruby is not able to join, but we really enjoy. Oh, my toddler just spilled her juice. Never mind, she's fine. I've got my toddler home with me. But anyhow, we traveled up for the traditional plants class. And this is some photos I took of our trip on the Argo at the coast. And there's Ruby picking the kunulik. Ready for the next slide? And we had some adventures. This is actually the first time that my daughter and I have traveled since the pandemic started. So we're really excited to be able to travel somewhere. And there's some photos of our me and Ruby landing in Barrow. The day was really beautiful. We also made some new friends on this trip. Lily and Ashley. Alita, I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. And we also had been invited to Lily's daughter's house for a traditional dinner after picking greens out on the tundra. and got to meet Jerica and her family in person. So that was really nice. Ready for the next slide? And we picked Kunulik, which is mountain sorrel. After I cleaned the plants, I decided to take a picture of them in the shape of a heart. That's what they look like. These are the red parts of the stem, is what we had used to make our jelly and tea. And the greens, they kind of reminded us, you know, we garden quite a bit here. The greens reminded us of a combination of kind of like rhubarb and strawberry flavor. So that's what that reminded us of. But I ended up harvesting enough to freeze and use throughout the year. Next slide. There's a photo of the Kunulik jelly, kind of similar, like if you've ever made fiery jelly, that's what that reminded me of. So really great flavor and really pretty color. And it was like like I said, the flavor is similar to strawberries and rhubarb combined. So I was able to jar about 7 half pints of jelly to use for the winter. Next slide. And we also made tea. So we harvested different things from our yard. We dried the Kunulik stems and leaves. And we also harvest tundra tea and Yupik, it's called Ayuk. Or in English, it's Labrador tea, pineapple weed, fireweed blossoms, clover, green tea, and raw sugar. So that's what we used in our tea. And I find that, you know, those French presses make a really good, like if you're brewing loose teas, that's what I prefer to use when I'm brewing that sort of tea. So we poured in boiling water and let it steep for about 10 minutes. And the flavors are very mild. Like you can use any kind of like tea base that you want, but for this one, we decided to try green tea so that the other flavors would come through, and it was a nice mild tea. Next slide. And we made the Kunulik smoothie, and those photos are of our garden, and those are the extra items that we picked to add with the Kunulik leaves. So we added nasturtium flowers, strawberries. I think I added basil, raspberries, gold and red raspberries, and then we blended it with yogurt and water base, and a little bit of sugar. I didn't want to add too many other flavors because I wanted to see what all this would taste like. So it was a nice, refreshing smoothie, and we garnished it with flowers and fresh mint leaves. Next slide. And then here we harvested a chocolate or beach greens, and it was kind of hard picking through them because a lot of them had blossoms, but we were able to find some. And I think out of all the greens we harvested, those are my favorite ones because of the flavor. So I froze a bunch of them to use throughout the winter. And we also discovered the Kuniak spice blend. We tried that for the first time when we had dinner up there, and I had to go and buy some of that. So now we use it on almost everything. And with our I made chowder with the greens, and kind of used whatever I had from my pantry and herbs from the garden. And that turned out really good. There was almost no leftovers, so we ate that with fresh bread for dinner. Next slide. And Kiana, we really enjoyed our time up there, and you know, made some good memories.
Great book, Rachel and Ruby. It was so nice to meet you guys, and I'm so glad you got to come up.
Thank you.
Pick greens. Anya. Okay, let me stop sharing. So those are our 2 presentations for today. Do we have any comments from any of the audience? I guess questions or comments? And it's okay if there are no questions or comments. I think it's just really amazing that I was looking back at when we first had a traditional plants summer camp, and it was, I believe, 2017. So we're going on year 5 in this journey of revitalizing the knowledge of traditional plants. And I'm so excited to see, you know, what the future holds and see our youth and just the people in the community, all the communities like blossoming with the traditional knowledge of, you know, really what we have right outside our door. And it's so, to me, it's so exciting. And like, I just love seeing everybody outside. Like it gives you a different feeling, like when you're able to pick your own things and then process your own things. Like it's such a amazing, it gives you a really amazing, like satisfying feeling. All right, if there are no questions or comments, I see in the chat, somebody said thank you and great presentations. And it looks really fun and very satisfying. I'm always proud of myself to eat anything I forage. And then we have a question, when is the best to pick cloudberries and where? So I guess it depends where you go, because like, for example, there was one year when we had gone to Point Hope and we were picking various plants and berries. And this was like end of July. And it was like prime time for Point Hope. While in Utqisuk, their prime time is in August. So it depends where you go. There's berries in like all the other villages except Utqarvik. So we do get berries, but you have to go like down the coast and inland and really look for them. But we're not very as bountiful as the other villages. I hope that answers your question. Can you use local fats instead of coconut and olive oils? I have never tried that before. I guess it would be a really cool experiment to try. I remember somebody had gifted me a soap with like whale oil in it. And that was, you know, that was cool. I've never seen a soap made with whale oil before. But when we go to make like salves or creams and stuff, we like to use just, you know, the things that you buy at the store, like the olive oil. You could use almond oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, different types of carrier oils. You're welcome. Traditional plants are always really interesting, and in like the future years, if any of you are really interested in going out in the field, just let me know. And I'm always out there. So you know, it's nice to pick with other people who love picking, and just gotta let me know. Always willing to share and teach. All right, everybody. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And I think it's Friday today. I'm so lost with my days, but Annahalu, everybody. See you all later, and Krenakbuk for listening to our student presentations. Annahalu. Annahalu.
Bye.